Okay, Danielle. I used the Celtic cross spread for you. And try to get it so you can see it. Okay, I kind of need a... Okay, can't really see everything here. Okay, so you probably can't see exactly which cards you got, but I will work through them with you. I just gotta get something to prop up the camera. Close enough. Your reading actually doesn't look all that bad. Actually, not really bad at all. Like, I see some of the things that you are worried about, but I don't see too much negative influence, so that's good. Card number 1, which is right here, represents your present condition, your present state, things that are happening around you at the present. You got the Ace of Pentacles, which pentacles are pretty much always a good thing, unless, it ends up being a bad thing by the reading of all the other cards, but generally pentacles are very good. And here, pentacles, you want pentacles. Says, a large golden pentacle dominates this card. The surrounding countryside is green, healthy, and calm. The top of the pentacle sits squarely in the heavens with the moon behind it and daylight breaking. The angle of the pentacle points to the earth, symbolic of the earthly element. The Ace of Pentacles represents prosperity and material gains, the beginning of successful endeavors, and that bring good financial reward. So this would be an excellent card if you were looking for a start in a new business venture or whatever. Pretty much, there's more to the definition, but pretty much the feel of this card is kind of pointing out to what you should already notice. You did get a job. You are engaged to Dan. Things are happening, and they are creating good things for you. And I know you worried about a lot of that, but it is. You need to realize the good situations that you are in presently. Card number 2 is what's crossing you. Not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just the situations that present themselves as helpful or challenging to your current situations. And you got the moon, which is number 18, I think. I'm very bad at Roman numerals, so. Moon. I have a lot of paper in my book, and I don't remember why. My foot's falling asleep, so if I kind of bump you off focus, forgive me. Let's see. The moon dimly lights the scene below, dogs howl at the moon, and a crayfish rises from the water representing the subconscious world. There is a sense of mystery to the entire scene. The moon has long been recognized for the effects it has on all life forms. Its gravitational pull upon the earth controls the tides. Fish spawn at the time of the full moon. As our bodies contain a large proportion of water, we also experience the same kind of magnetic pull that the moon has upon the earth. Crime levels and births increase at the time of the full moon, with emotions and tempers running higher than usual. So there is much to be said for moon madness, quote unquote. The moon represents illusionary situations, possible deceptions, and feelings of uncertainty, which is pretty much the situation you are in right now. As you told me, emotions are highly charged and fluctuating, like a pendulum swinging back and forth. Due to the mystical associations of the moon, it can also show our dreams becoming more vivid as the subconscious reveals itself to us. Feelings of intuition and gut instincts are heightened. When this card is present, it also warns that it's important not to jump to conclusions, for the light of the moon can create illusions, shapes in the shadows that are not what they seem. There is usually far more to a situation than first meets the eye, and it would be wise to be watchful but not to act in haste, taking time until the situation has revealed itself more clearly. So as I said, card position number 2 is symbolic of the situations on your mind, the situations that are crossing you, whether they're helpful or challenging. And you told me just before I made this video that, you're worried you don't need bad things in your life right now. Things are hectic with job and not being able to find a new job and schooling, and you're worried about Dan and all that stuff. And this card is kind of revealing that, and you kind of need to remember to step back and take a look. And this card is on top of, as I said, the Ace of Pentacles. And I think what that's saying is that you kind of need to take a step back and look at the things that are happening, look at the things at their core. Like we said, you're engaged again, Dan now. You recently got your job. Despite everything else that you've been telling me, things at the base foundations of your situations are pretty good. And you're worried, and that can create, oh well, things are falling apart, these kinds of hasty feelings. And so you need to kind of take a step back and just look at this and figure out what really is a problem and what isn't, and what you're worried about just because the stress you're under. Stress can play a large role in how you look at things, and it can blow things way out of proportion. I know that very well. So I think that's what this card is saying. You need to make sure that you're not under any illusions, and that you are bringing things into, so to speak, the light of the moon, so you can work them out and see your situations for what they really are. And let's see, card number 3 is, I think, past situations. I don't know. I need to look. I kind of lost my page here. You bring the Celtic cross. Yes, past issues. This is card number 3, and it's past issues, not necessarily recent issues, but past issues in general. And it says, this is the basis of the situation. This card will provide more information regarding the past in relation to the question. and is often the reason or foundation of why the client is asking the question. So this is kind of, when I had my reading, Shannon used the Celtic cross for me, and this was actually more of, in her spread that she used for me, this card represented subconscious, which is kind of a power that does bring questions into reality, that sort of thing. And what you got for this position is the Knight of Wands, which we'll look that up here. I really look forward to the point in time where, make sure I am recording here. Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. Where I memorize these cards by heart and I don't have to consult the book, but I don't feel as bad because Shannon had to use the book too. Knight of Wands. Wish they would just put everything together in this book. Page. I want the pages. I want the knights. There we go. Says the Knight of Wands sets out with confidence. He tends to bring swift movement to matters with a high level of energy. If representing a young man, which you're obviously not a young man, but if it could, refer to Dan or any other masculine person in your life that's been influencing you. It's a fire element, and when representing a young man, the Knight of Wands is energetic, adventurous, full of ambitious ideas, warm and exciting, but apt to be a little hasty. As an event, as in the situations and what you were talking to me about, the Knight of Wands almost always shows when someone is about to change residence. May also signify a long journey being taken, sometimes both as an immigration. As always, look for supporting cards. The energy this knight represents tends to make clients feel they must act quickly, as it has a high level of creative energy, but they must not, in their haste, forget to check all the details first. So in regards to what you were telling me about being worried and just in a funk, as you put it, being that this card is a very high energy card, and it's in your past issues, which, as the position stated, is kind of the basis and the foundation of why you wanted me to give you a reading in the first place. I have noticed with you, because we do talk a lot, obviously, but things are happening very fast. Like I already stated, while you got your job, you got engaged, all this other stuff that's going on, looking for schools, almost trying to look for another job. It's all very good, but like I said, it can create a lot of stress. And I think this card is representing all that. There's been a high level of energy in your life lately, a very high level of activity. And no, you're setting out with a lot of ambitious ideas and a lot of ambitious events going on that you're working towards, a lot of very high-ended goals. And, you, in correlation with the moon, you need to step back and kind of deal with everything, maybe with smaller steps. And that's going to release a lot of the tension you have and help get you out of the funk that you are in. So, Knight of Wands is a very high level of energy, which can be a good thing, but too much energy and too much ambition builds up and you just get stuck. I know that I'm an Aries. It's something I do frequently. card, position number 4, which one of your cards is actually upside down. I don't remember if this is number 4, if this is number 4. Let's check. This is number 4. And you got the 9 of Wands, but it's upside down. And so it's gonna take more brain work on my part. So normally speaking, while the card is upright, the description is: a man dressed for battle guards 8 wands. The 9th he holds before him in readiness to fight, defend, and protect that which he has worked so hard for. We can see by his pose and expression that he is weary, yet still he bravely protects his position. 9 is the penultimate number of the suit. When the 9 of Wands when the 9 of Wands presents itself, it tends to show you feel as if all your energy has been spent, which is what you were telling me just a few minutes ago. The road has been long and you just don't feel as if you can go another step. Okay, now let's just stop there for a moment. Although you may feel on the verge of giving up, the message that the 9 of Wands brings is that your success is closer than you think, and that you do actually have the inner strength required to make it. This is not the time to stop. Having come so far, now is the moment to gather all your reserves for the final push. Perseverance is the key. With courage and determination, your triumphant moment awaits you. Okay, so this card definitely represents what you were talking about with me, with you being in a funk and just being brought down by everything that's going on. But it's upside down, which doesn't necessarily make it the opposite. Being how this card has been laid, and the position of this card is recent past, like the immediate past, things that have just been happening recently for you, and which fits perfectly, obviously. You're tired, is what you were explaining to me. What you were telling me is you're tired. You don't know how to continue. You just, as you said, you're in a funk. And when the card's upright, it said that, you need to gather your reserves and make the final push. But it's upside down. And I think what that's saying is going back to the moon and to the Knight of Wands. I talked about stepping back, bringing your situation into the light of the moon, into the light of your intuition, your inner self, and really clarifying your situations and revealing to yourself what's important, what's really a challenge, and what should not be as challenging as it should be. And because of that, I think the reason that the Knight of Wands is upside down is that maybe you're not necessarily supposed to be rushing in with your final energy reserve. Like we said, your basic past situation is the Knight of Wands, which is extremely energetic, extremely ambitious, and which is kind of the reason why you're in the funk that you're in. And because the Knight of Wands is upside down, that is telling you, that's pretty much just confirming, you need to slow down, stop what you're doing, and just take a look at your situation. It's repeating itself here. With the moon, and then with the Knight of Wands, and now this. It's just an affirmation of, you know, meditate. Just take time, just stop what you're doing and get your energy back, get your mental powwow back, and, you know, figure this out before you take any more steps, before you continue a battle that you might not even need to be fighting. Now, card position number 5 is up at the top here, which is, the card position is your crowning thoughts. This is what crowns you. The card in position 5 shows the client's crowning thoughts in relation to the question. As any esoteric practices or personal development material will tell you, our thoughts are very real. They go forward and manifest, so that they have an enormous impact on how situations can inevitably turn out, based on our attitude toward what is happening, or as we believe it. Our attitude always has some bearing on the eventual manifestation and outcome. So guard your thoughts. Although this card is not actually a predictive position, it does show a strong possibility of how the situation could develop, based on your beliefs with regard to your question. And the card that you got is the Queen of Pentacles, which, looking that up, see, you're like me, you get a lot of pentacles in your readings. Queen of Pentacles. This queen is usually materially secure. By nature, she tends to be warm, generous, practical, money conscious, which all this describes you perfectly. It's amazing. And often successful at anything she undertakes, including juggling a career and home. She is not afraid of hard work and would work methodically and tirelessly in order to succeed. As a result, she lives comfortably. A good businesswoman in her own right, she can also be found at the top of organizations. She works solidly and recognizes the virtues of doing things correctly. She makes good business decisions and is practically minded. Note the peacock in this card. Peacocks are usually regarded as a symbol of prosperity. In her different guises, you would find the Queen of Pentacles as a wealthy woman, pleasant and generous to others. She carries off her role well. Wives of nobility carrying titles are frequently found running large estates and making them pay. Socially poised and correct in their manner, their clothing shows quality but rarely lacks the practicality of its purpose. These women work tirelessly and solidly, running households and businesses equally well. They can also be found as independent career women, working steadily with their goals in sight up the corporate ladder. Their success is always well-deserved, and they're prepared to go the extra mile in order to achieve their objectives. And unlike the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles will take care of the details, which is why she usually gets further in the long run. On a different level, you may find these women working in finance, banks, accountancy, and so on. However, it is her characteristics that give her away. She never considers her work as just a job, but she does appreciate steadfastness, method, and routine. These queens can be found as businesswomen, heads of organizations, or anything connected to the earth element. Property sales, accountancy, food services, jewelers, veterinarians, or any other form of agriculture or environmental issues. Farmers' wives usually fall into this category too. In the negative, they may be stubborn, liking things done their own way, and prone to jealousy. They can also be self-indulgent and practical to the point of seeming dull or overly materialistic. Alternatively, due to their generous nature, others may take advantage of them. That was a lot to take in, but I see the basis of where this is going. And it says your crowning thoughts, which may not actually mean what you are thinking about the situation, because I know you expressed you're tired and everything, but this could mean, and I don't know what's in your mind, but um, to me this is saying what you want the outcome to be, that you want things to fall into place. Or it could be saying that this is how you should be thinking. Because if you study quantum physics, your thoughts and your consciousness, your conscious mind, have a very real and physical effect on the outcome of what goes on in your life. And so tying in with the cards, I think this is more than less saying that you should be thinking these kinds of thoughts, thinking of prosperity, thinking of things going well, imagining yourself succeeding, coming through your funk, coming out of it with a wealthier, healthier situation. Because that will ultimately have a great effect on the outcome of your situation and will help you greatly in getting out of your little funk. Card number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, card position number 6. I kind of need to readjust here because my foot is like hating me right now. Oh yeah, it's hating me. Okay, so get my hair out of the way here. Okay, continuing, card position number 6. Card position number 6 is the immediate future. And your card, actually I'm going to read the position first. Card position number 6 is what lies before you. The card in position number 6 shows what is about to happen in the immediate future. Since we must consider that this card has already been brought into being by the energies of the past and present, there is a greater likelihood of its manifestation. And the card you got is Temperance, which is Roman numeral number 14, I think. And Temperance is a heavenly figure shrouded in stars carefully pours water from a golden cup of fire into a silver cup of water. Here we have the integration of opposites. Silver represents the subconscious and gold the conscious. Fire and water also being opposite elements. It shows the constant flow and balance necessary to attain harmony. Sometimes referred to as the alchemist, this card shows opposites being blended successfully. Temperance represents moderation, having patience, the ability to compromise to find satisfactory solutions, diplomacy and cooperation, and balanced emotions. It is a card of successfully integrating opposite forces. With harmony and compatibility, it suggests the perfect union. It can also represent a receptive environment for reconciliation to take place. Where justice represents balanced thought, temperance stands for balanced emotions. Always a lovely, gentle card when it appears in readings, the temperance angle often brings healing. So this is in the near future. However, as fate, as we know, is not generally set in stone, this card more or less is showing you how your future will fold out if you step back from your situation. We already covered that, starting your card, you have some pretty good situations going for you. At the base foundation of your situations, you have good things going for you. But with everything else going on within these situations, you need to step back. You need to not be hasty. You need to stop fighting it for a little while and just go with it and re-energize, recharge, and meditate. You need to bring positive thought back into the picture. And when you do this and you bring to light what's really going on, and you bring these positive thoughts into it, that's when you're going to see temperance come about. That's when you're going to see the changes becoming evident, and when you're going to start to harmonize with your situations, and you're going to turn the negative into positive. And it'll work out for you. You just need to step back and take a look at everything, and the answers will become apparent for you. I promise they will. That's how it works. When you stop fighting, when you get yourself out of the battle that you really don't need to be in, and you take a look at everything that's going on, that's when you go, so I wasted all that energy for nothing. That's what's really going on here. I didn't even need to worry about this. Okay, so that's the main part of your reading right there. And it's pretty good. It's just telling you to loosen up. You need to stop worrying about all the smaller details, all the what's gonna happen, and all the, well, how do I do this if I'm already doing that? You just need to let go of all that and let it happen. And take a look at things for what they are and not what they should be or what they could be. Alright, now over here we have card position number 7, which is right here, which is your fears. The 7th card shows what apprehension the client is experiencing emotionally in relation to their question. Don't be misled if a positive card shows here. It can show unfounded fears. And you have the King of Swords. So let's take a look and see what that could mean. The King of Swords' throne sits in his element of air. His sword is prominently displayed, and he appears to be in deep thought. The King of Swords has a cool, detached air, which makes him rather difficult to fathom. In case of still waters run deep, which can make him intriguing. Usually he is strong, with an easy air of authority and a just nature. He is a rational man with analytical thinking, who prefers logic to emotion and likes clear set rules. Emotionally, he can appear misleading, for although he tends not to make great shows of public emotion, as a partner, he is strong and loyal to his loved ones and takes his responsibilities seriously. This king is often found in uniform as a police officer, in the military, or in law or government enforcement agencies, or as a prison or security officer. In fact, in any area of the law or discipline, In higher positions, these men are usually extremely articulate with a razor-sharp mind and have the ability to think quickly and responsibly. They also do well in mathematics, scientific fields, in investigative work, or as engineers. In his presence, you get the distinct feeling you are being evaluated, and he would tend not to discuss his personal life, sticking to the purpose of the meeting. The King of Swords is careful where he places his trust, but he makes an excellent friend who gives good advice when asked. In the negative, he may seem cold and impersonal and lack sensitivity to others' feelings. In the extreme, cruel and bullying, with an ability to completely switch off his emotions. Now, we didn't get too much into why you're worried about your situations, but as far as this card goes relating to your fears, you're going to know the answer to that better than I am. And you can go off the description of the card that I just read. But whether it's referring to Dan, because I know you have problems connecting with him or problems with his lack of connectivity, or another situation which may seem unyielding, maybe. I guess this is kind of encompassing what you're feeling. And another reason why, kind of tying into your past situation here, kind of another reason or another affirmation as to why you wanted a reading. Card position number 8 is environmental factors. This is how others either do or will view you. The 8th card allows the client to see how other people around them will be viewing the situation. If the question has been asked concerning one particular person, then this card reveals their view. This can be an extremely insightful and helpful card. And your card for position number 8 is the Lovers, which, as far as I'm aware, would be referring to you and Dan. And it could be referring to you in other situations as well, in a metaphorical sense. But let's see, the Lovers, which is number the 6. Ha, yes. I'm getting good at these numerals. The Lovers are shown as an idealized vision of romantic bliss. The perfect male and female forms are surrounded by water, symbolic of the world of our emotions. The potentiality of their sexual nature and blissful state in their togetherness are open and clear to see. From the heavens, they are touched by a golden aura of love that surrounds them. The color of this card combined indigo and mauve, indicative of the spiritual realm, and the fiery, passionate colors of red, orange, and gold. The image of this card portrays far more than mere words could hope to convey. Simply speaking, it represents human love and relationships. Here we have the harmony of the combined polarities, male and female, the perfect union expressed through love. The artwork of this card, for me, the author is saying that, finally portrays the lovers in the actuality that our human condition naturally desires. In older versions of this card, the lovers often depicted 3 people and indicated choices, with the possible reference to the temptation of a third party. Perhaps for this reason, it has often been a common area of misinterpretation. Yet, with regard to choice, the area of love relationships is perhaps one of the biggest arenas in which we experience personal growth and challenges as we seek to harmonize self with another. As such, our relationships represent choices all the way through. This card could be the choice of becoming involved in a new romance or choosing to make a commitment in an existing relationship, such as a marriage, which is kind of relevant, don't you think? Or in a solid relationship, making choices that will affect both partners. The Lovers is a positive card unless badly aspected, and surrounding cards will clarify what situation is being faced. Okay, so let's backtrack again. Your present situation was the Ace of Pentacles. You and Dan were engaged. I'm going to speak of this card first in relating to you and Dan. And the Lovers card is talking about, what another person is viewing in their thoughts toward you and situations concerning you. You two just got engaged. Your fears are due to highly energized situations, stress and the like, possibly causing you to over-evaluate. But the fears card kind of seems to indicate that you're worried about your connection, maybe with Dan. Maybe not, I don't know, but it seems to be kind of pointing to Dan now. And the Lovers card is kind of generated toward their aspect. And so I'm thinking that it kind of says that whatever your concerns are about your relationship with him, he's aware of the commitment you two made as far as engagement goes. He's aware of the promise he made to you. He's aware of the relationship that you two have. And so I think that's something you need to keep in mind. That even if you don't necessarily have a connection with him right now, that kind of thing just happens. And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong for him. It doesn't mean that he thinks there's something wrong in the relationship. It doesn't mean that, he's having second thoughts. It doesn't mean... It pretty much is just kind of affirming that maybe you're over-evaluating things. So the cards aren't really giving the Lovers card a bad stigma. So I think it's pretty safe to say that whatever your thoughts are, whether or not it's concerning Dan, are fine. The way people are viewing you right now regarding the situation, your relationship, they're fine. The stress is coming from your own mind. Card position number 9. Sorry if my voice is getting weird. It's kind of getting strained. Talking for a long time takes a lot of energy for me. Card number 9 position is your hopes, which I think this reiterates the last card. It kind of ties right into the last card. These are your hopes. This card shows what the client really hopes for in relation to their question. And you have the Two of Cups, which is a man and a woman gaze into one another's eyes with undivided attention. The blonde woman and brown-haired man represent the combination of the two opposite polarities. Note the bright light in the heavens extending down in a ring encompassing both of them, alighting upon each cup, which appears to draw and hold them together. This is the card of union. The ace has now progressed into two energies, male and female. The energy of the ace has now manifested into reality, finding expression in the form of the two cups. This beautiful card is always a welcome sight with regard to romantic relationships. When the Two of Cups appears, it shows growth in a relationship, whatever the stage you have reached together. It represents moving on to the next level. For some, with the indications of surrounding cards, of course, this can represent commitment, engagement, or marriage. Either way, it's an important union. With the Two of Cups, the relationship is surrounded by an atmosphere of harmony, balance, kindness, and a silent understanding that words cannot express, such is the delight of this bond, that somehow life cannot be imagined without the other. You are deliciously intoxicated, and the feeling is mutual. With the wonderful energy of this card, if there have been quarrels or disputes between loved ones, then the Two of Cups can bring reconciliation and rediscovery of the emotions that originally held this unity together. So I think that's pretty spot on with what I know you're hoping for, especially in regards to Dan. I already know that you love him so much, and I think it goes perfectly with the card you just got beforehand, the Lovers, which kind of hints that, Dan already has the same feelings for you. He got engaged to you. He's aware of all this, no matter what your connection to him is right now. And your hopes are in union with that, whether you are aware of that or not. You two pretty much want the same thing. And it's every girl's fantasy to have that unbreaking, unyielding relationship with her lover, and I know that's definitely what's on your mind with Dan, because I know from talking to you so much, I know that's what you want more than almost anything. And I think that's definitely possible for you too. It's just, you need to calm down a little bit. And of course, expression of feelings is always good. You should always communicate your feelings to Dan, but don't pressure him to respond accordingly. Make your feelings known, but, Dan is a guy. Guys kind of have problems with that sometimes. We both know that. So yeah, this card is pretty much telling me what I already know about what you want out of that situation. And your last card position, number 10. The last card position, number 10, is of course the outcome. The final card of the Celtic cross shows the outcome and answer to the question. However, it must be read in conjunction with all the other cards present. Do not dash ahead to the last card. And this is always an interesting card to get. You got the Hierophant, which is kind of a weird word, I know, but we'll read the definition here because I don't even know how to describe the word Hierophant. Which is number 5, so I went way too far. Okay. The Hierophant is dressed in religious attire. His arms are open, showing his willingness to reveal his knowledge. A beautiful stained glass window stands between the moon, symbol of heavenly meditation, and the Hierophant, which represents the filter through which he receives his information. One hand is raised to heaven, and the other faces down to earth, representing spirit and matter, with the Hierophant as the bridge between the two. As the Emperor connects the material to the worldly matters, the Hierophant represents the spiritual aspect. Sorry, my mouth is really dry. I'm trying so hard to speak clearly. Yeah. The Hierophant may indicate help from a wise, trusted person, such as a mentor, teacher, or religious figure, usually one who is respected in the local community, but certainly someone whom the client holds and trusts in high regard. This card frequently refers to large institutions such as hospitals, educational establishments, government offices, churches, or large organizations. It also suggests conformity and conventional set ways of working or thinking, where it is difficult to implement change. It can be representative of following traditional values and moral ethics, or the need to find a deeper meaning to life in the exploration of spiritual matters. Okay, so in conjunction with all the cards you have, I don't really think that this card, this one right here, can you see that? I can't. Okay. I don't really necessarily think it means that, which I could be wrong. It could be an outcome that just kind of happens, but I think it's not necessarily referring to a person, but your inner wisdom. I think it's pretty much saying that all the help you need and that you can and probably will get if you follow the advice of this reading, it's going to come from you. And maybe some of the people around you will help you understand, help you move forward, just, give you aid. And your inner self always has the answers, though. You just need to reflect and withdraw and look at your situations, which I'm pretty sure is what this card is indicating. You need to have positive outcomes in mind, positive thoughts. As card number 9 already indicates, you have your wants and desires for your situation. And they seem to be positive, but, make sure you banish all negative thoughts, all negative energies. Focus on the positive. That'll help your outcome. And you need to step back, get into yourself, and really take a look at what's bothering you. And your outcome will result accordingly, because you will be able to see what needs to be fixed. You'll be able to see what you need to do. And you'll see what really is not an issue in the first place. what is really just the result of having, you know, a stressful, busy life, you know, you'll be able to see, oh, I'm just stressed out. I just need to relax a little bit and everything will be fine. But, you know, it could represent that, you know, you have friends around you. I'm always here. We're good friends. We're like sisters. Um, I'm always here to help you. There are people around you who love you. There's wisdom all around you. You just need to tap into that. And your outcome is going to be produced by what you do with that. And because it's funny, it doesn't, as your outcome card, it doesn't really tell you what your outcome is going to be. It's saying that there's help available for you, that you will receive help, you will have the opportunity for help, whether it's from your inner self or the people around you. And that's all it's saying. The rest is up to you. You just need to step back and take a look at your situation, and your answers will come to you. So that's all you really have for your reading, and I just gave you your interpretation. There's some other cards off to the side here, but those really aren't part of the reading. They're more for my own guidance. And so making a video would be a lot better than trying to type it all out on Facebook, because as you can tell, interpretations can take a long time to explain. So, there you go. I will message this video to you, obviously, and I love you, Danny, so, mwah.